Hello, beautiful soul. Tonight, we enter a subject that feels like science fiction, and yet sits quietly inside real physics, real philosophy, and real inner experience. Time travel, not as spectacle, not as a machine with flashing lights, but as a question that reveals something deeper. What if time is not a road you move along, but a structure you are already inside? And what if traveling through time is less about escaping the present and more about understanding what the present truly is? Let us begin with a simple observation. You have never touched the past. You have never touched the future. You have only ever met one place. Now. Even when you remember, it happens now. Even when you imagine, it happens now. Even when you worry or hope or regret, it is always occurring in this living moment. So the first mystery is this. Maybe time is not a thing you travel through. Maybe time is the way consciousness arranges experience. Now, let us honor the scientific lens. Modern physics already allows something that most people don't realize is time travel, time dilation. According to Einstein's relativity, time is not an absolute clock that ticks the same for everyone. Time is elastic, move very fast, and time slows down for you relative to someone who stays still. Stay near a very strong gravitational field, and time slows down again. This is not metaphor. This is measurable. Astronauts age a little differently than people on Earth. Clocks on satellites must be corrected because gravity and speed change their rate. Your now is not identical to someone else's now, which means the universe already whispers time is not a single river. Time is local. Time is relative. So in one sense, physics says, yes, time travel to the future is real. Because if you could travel close enough to the speed of light or live near extreme gravity, you could return to Earth and find that more time has passed there than for you. You would have stepped into the future, not by magic, but by geometry. And yet, the mind asks the question it always asks. What about traveling to the past? Here, science becomes more delicate. Relativity allows strange solutions, mathematical shapes of space-time, where a path could curve back on itself. These are called closed time-like curves, routes through space-time that, on paper, could bring you into your own past. Some models include rotating universes, intense gravitational structures, or hypothetical wormholes, bridges between regions of space-time. But notice the word hypothetical, because to make many of these scenarios work, you often need conditions we do not know how to create or stabilize. Exotic matter, negative energy densities, or cosmic configurations far beyond our reach. And even if the equations allow it, the universe may not. There is a reason physicists speak of chronology protection, the idea that nature may prevent paradoxes from forming, because the mind immediately stumbles into the classic wound. If I travel to the past and change something, do I erase my own origin? Do I create a contradiction? And here, reality offers two possibilities, both breathtaking. Either the past cannot be changed, or changing it does not destroy reality, but branches it. Now, we enter the bridge between science and spirit, the block universe idea. Some physicists describe space-time as a four-dimensional structure, not time-flowing, but events existing as a complete landscape. In this view, the past is not gone, and the future is not unmade. They are positions in the structure, like pages in a book that already exists. While your awareness reads one line at a time, you do not create the book by reading it. you experience it. And what you call the flow of time may be the movement of consciousness through that structure. If this is true, then time travel becomes a different kind of question. Not, how do I build a machine? But what does it mean that all moments are real? Now, let us bring in another lens, quantum reality. In the quantum world, the future is not fixed in the same way a classical mind expects. There are probabilities, distributions, possibilities, and measurement, interaction, observation seem to select outcomes. This has led to interpretations where reality is not a single line, but a branching field of alternatives. If that is the case, then changing the past may really mean choosing a different branch, not rewriting the same timeline, but shifting to a version where the consequences differ. This is not proven as literal human time travel, but it is a powerful way to understand paradox. Maybe paradox only exists if you assume there is one single rigid timeline. But if reality contains many consistent pathways, then what looks like contradiction could be relocated as divergence, a new line, a different world, a parallel outcome. And now, something inside the heart becomes very quiet. Because many people have felt without words that their life could have gone another way, as if another version of them made a different choice. And sometimes the grief you carry is not only for what happened, but for what almost happened. This is the emotional echo of a multiverse-like intuition. Now, let us speak spiritually, gently and clearly. From a spiritual perspective, time travel is not primarily mechanical. It is vibrational. You do not go to a timeline. You tune to it. Like radio stations playing simultaneously, while your receiver hears only one. Your beliefs, your definitions, your emotional baseline. These shape the station you experience. So when you heal an old wound, you are not only feeling better, you are changing the frequency of your present. And when the frequency of your present changes, your future reorganizes. This is the simplest form of time travel that is accessible to every human being. Changing now changes what comes next, not as forced control, but as alignment. But what about the past? Here's the deeper truth. Most of your suffering about the past is not the past itself. It is the past kept alive in the nervous system. A memory is not only an image, it is a chemical pattern, a posture, a reflex, a meaning. So when you forgive, when you release shame, when you stop replaying the scene as proof of who you are not erasing history. You're traveling to a different relationship with it. And that is not small, because a past that once controlled you becomes a page you can hold with calm hands. That is a kind of backward time travel, not to change events, but to change the spell they cast, to remove pain from the throne, to reclaim the present from an old prison. Now let us enter a question many souls whisper. Can consciousness actually visit other times? In dreams, people sometimes stand in places they have never seen, speak languages they do not know, recognize faces they have never met. Sometimes it is symbolic. Sometimes it is memory. Sometimes it is imagination weaving meaning. But sometimes it feels like a window. Science cannot confirm these experiences as literal time travel. But science also cannot fully map consciousness, the very thing doing the observing. So the wise posture is this. Hold the mystery with humility. Do not force certainty. Do not turn mystery into dogma. Let it be what it is, an invitation to wonder. If time is a landscape, then perhaps deep states of consciousness, meditation, trance, liminal dreaming, can move attention across that landscape, not as a physical body traveling, but as awareness touching information. And in that sense, time travel might mean accessing a different coordinate of the mind's relationship to reality, because your mind is not only a recorder, it is also a projector. And sometimes it receives things that do not fit linear explanation. Now we must speak of the paradox again because it is a teacher. The paradox is not just a problem to solve, it is a mirror. It asks, do you want to change the past, or do you want to be free from it? Because those are not the same desire. Many people say, I wish I could go back. But what they really mean is, I wish I could undo the pain. And the universe answers, you may not be able to undo the event, but you can undo the identity you built from it. You can stop living as the person who is still trapped there. You can become the one who survived and returned. That is the truest time travel. Not moving a body through years, but moving a soul through meaning. Now, let us imagine, just for a moment, that a literal time machine existed. What would it actually change? If you returned to a moment and changed it, you would not only change one event, you would change every ripple afterward, the people you met, the lessons you learned, the strengths you forged, the tenderness you developed, even the words you can speak today. So the question becomes sacred. Are you sure you would still be you? And here is the gentle answer. Perhaps the purpose of time is not to be rewritten. Perhaps the purpose of time is to be experienced fully. Because growth does not happen in the abstract. It happens in sequence, in contrast, in consequence, in choice. So what is the most practical, grounded form of time travel? It is this: to realize that the future is not a destination. It is a direction, and your direction is chosen now. Every time you choose honesty, you step into a future where truth is normal. Every time you choose presence, you step into a future where your nervous system is safe. Every time you choose courage, you step into a future where your life is wider. And every time you choose self-betrayal, you step into a future where your soul feels farther away. This is not punishment. This is resonance. This is physics. In a spiritual language, you meet what matches your frequency. So tonight, let me offer a simple practice, not dramatic, but real. Place a hand on your heart and ask, what future am I feeding right now? What timeline am I reinforcing with my thoughts, my habits, my definitions? Then ask, what is one choice, one, that would tune me to a kinder future? Not 10 choices. One, a truth you have been avoiding, a boundary you have been postponing, a rest you have been denying, a conversation you have been afraid to begin. And then breathe. Because the future is not waiting for you at the end of time. It is listening to you in the present. Beautiful soul. Time travel may or may not become a technology in the way movies imagine. But time travel is already happening in one undeniable way. You are always traveling from one now to the next. And the quality of your next now depends on what you do with this one. So do not ask only, how do I go to another time? Ask the deeper question. How do I become the one who lives this time truly? Because when you inhabit now, you stop being dragged by the past, and you stop being haunted by the future. You become the quiet center through which all possibilities reorganize. This is Elaria. And here is the gentle summary. Time may be a geometry of reality, but your experience of it is shaped by consciousness. The deepest time travel is choosing the frequency of now, So the future changes and the past loses its hold.